I was told many times that I wouldn't pass secondary school, that I was just not good at writing. As a child, you take it, right? Natascha, you are not good at languages. And later on in high school, same here in English, you just have no talent. You won't get your A level. Like it hit me, I tell you, from secondary school to high school to bachelor degree to master degree again. Over and over and over again. They told me I was not good enough. I will never make it. I have no talent. And I believed that to be true until I changed my identity. I think the one thing that stuck most is the sentence, "You're just not good enough and you won't make it." Like they were so sure of what they said to me that I at some point believed that to be true.
Like you said, you finished school and you stopped believing in the criticism that they told you. Like how did that happen?
So in 2008, I saved every penny that I had and went to San Diego and put myself in a more like voluntary position, like being there for myself to study English another way that I was told before, surrounded by people who are all there voluntarily learning a language, not being forced to do it. No, I was there like voluntarily. I think this makes it the biggest differentiation here is that this was something that I wanted and not something everybody wanted me to do. You need to feel that, okay, maybe I did say something wrong. I even do today, but I don't care about it anymore. You say something wrong or it doesn't fit, whatever it is, but you do it anyway. So you get out of your comfort zone over and over and over again, and you prove your nervous system to be calm. But I came home with a different, like, okay, I put myself again in a situation where I failed, but from the perspective of studying abroad, I failed. It's identity work from my perspective, as also like a language coach in general, being interested in personal growing. So they don't want to admit they're just at the beginner because they feel like a loser or not good enough. There we come again with this whole thing of being not good enough, not there yet, not ready yet. So the thing is that you have to allow yourself to be a beginner and then grow with it, and everything comes with it. It's actually starting before you're ready that makes the actual shift here. So it's an emotional, speaking a language, moving abroad is emotional, not just geographical.
You made yourself a promise to speak a total of 5 languages.
And Arabic, because I have 2 children and their father is Arabic. So that's why I decided I cannot stand the fact that I have 2 children talking or communicating in a language that I can't understand or speak. I say always, like, without a why, you don't continue. You guys remember now, and all of you who are listening to this episode right now, that I got told I was really bad, right? In order to change I needed to first change how I believed, or I changed my whole belief system about it. Basically, that's why I tell myself all the time, all that's possible, it's possible for me too. So that means it was possible for me to speak English. So all language learners, when they don't believe in themselves that they are actually there's a possibility for them to speak German, there is not. But first of all, they have to have a strong why. Without why, the nervous system will collapse. And that's why first you need to stop the loop. You need to believe in yourself first.
And I even argue that this why should not only like be the gate between not being good or not like being able to complete your objective, but also that it's a way for you to continue even exercising your language.
I work on why they stop learning, why they sabotage themselves, and how I give them a certain feeling how to stay consistent when the motivation drops. So that's a little bit more from the coach side, I would say. I think there's a general one that people always feel they are not ready yet. I'm not here since whatever. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. People are not comfortable yet. They're in this loop of, I don't know the language good enough yet, or I'm only A2, right? And they always say to me, I'm not a good at, I just passed the B1 exam. Just because you passed only the B1 exam doesn't mean you're ready yet. You need to step out there before you feel ready. I stepped out of my comfort zone, lived in San Diego before I ever felt ready. I just left. You need at some point to go out there and start before you're ready. And I think that's the pattern. A fear of making mistakes.
What do you think that the language learning world gets wrong about why people tend to fail?
Maybe the world needs people to be, maybe it's perfectionism, right? Maybe it's perfectionism that people just think they need to be perfect in order to. The thing is, we are all not perfect. We will never be. And this makes it so much easier to accept the fact I'm not perfect. I will never be perfect. But if the world seeks people who are perfect, it's like you will constantly feel like you are not enough. So for me, it's like changing their perspective rather than seeing that the person who is not speak English not perfect means I have another language that I speak actually, right?
So
But I find it super interesting that you say like this perfectionism, and sometimes I think maybe even if the world doesn't expect it from you, then you self expect it from you. So not only your environment telling you you're not good enough, but yourself like having inherited this feeling and saying that you're not good enough. So it's actually something really useful to think about before going into the whole language learning thing.
but with as time goes on, as more languages, more objectives get created, a lot of people succeed, a lot of people fail. So you now, in your massive list of 5 languages, technically we covered, I think, like 3 of them. There's 2 of them that you mentioned, which are Arabic and Portuguese. What does those 2 languages like mean to you personally, besides just being part of the list or part of like a specific objective?
And for me, it's like when I think about Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese language, and Arabic, as I said before, like Arabic is a really emotional thing, right? The dad of my children is Arabic speaking, and I want them to, that they don't exclude me, they include me, that they are capable of communicating to me in a different language. And if this possibility occurs, I want to be part of it. Whereas Brazilian Portuguese was always something that I wanted actually to learn before I wanted to learn Spanish. And when she talks to her family, it's just like, oh, these hearts everywhere and everybody's in this bubble. And I want to be part of this bubble. So for me, these 2 languages are from the heart side, something that I wish for myself to be true. Then there are other whys that are at this moment of your life more important than learning Portuguese, but I tried. And I do understand also Brazilian Portuguese, but I feel like a hesitation in speaking and a confusion with Spanish. So I still feel like I'm not crossing the comfort zone. I'm not going through it. And Arabic, I'm still at my early beginnings. Like this is something, a target, like let's say in the next couple years, I will start. So speaking the language is the highest thing here for me to achieve.
So it is consistent with your own philosophy and your own like coaching method, which would be pretty interesting, but I don't think we have the time to see what happens when you have to coach yourself about it. So it's interesting to see like if the system that you created from when you were like from back in the day now still works today in a much more different context, because in your case, you develop your own objective base when someone was able to move somewhere, was able to experience and force themselves to get out of their zone.
But actually, now looking at everything that languages have brought into your life, like what do you think where it will take you next?
So I just want to take another minute of our time and take you a little bit back to my big vision board that I was creating 2020 before I actually started building German language code, like putting yourself out on camera, saying something, being vulnerable to other people. So 2018, I was still living in Guatemala and I felt I was volunteering in a really nice project for over 2 years, and I had to support myself financially, so I started teaching as a language tutor, which I did online, and I had a great experience. And I was like, oh, I'm good at this. So I took on my certificates, first teaching, then coaching. And back then in 2008 in California, I saw myself walking down the stairs from this big school, and I had the feeling like, okay, one day there is something, it's there, I'm gonna take over something, or I will build something myself. So in 2020, 12 years later, I was sitting down creating my whole vision board about, okay, this is my personal brand. And so I was able, with all that I have, with Twin Boys, with my company, with the influencing, with running courses, with working at university, all that I have in my personal life and business life, to establish that by now. But I haven't had the chance to build a big company yet, or have an online school, or a better ecosystem. So basically what happened is I got offered a great opportunity, and that opportunity is, I'm gonna share with you right now, is that by next week I will be taking over Germany's biggest trade fair for languages, which is the Expo Lingua. So I am the new managing director of Expo Lingua, and I get the chance to build something even bigger, greater, and I got the chance to take over something that exists already for 38 years and to give it a different approach that it is right now. And so by next week, I will be officially the new managing director of Expo Lingua. And I have a big vision to create a space through this fair and beyond, where languages are experienced as something alive, right? Where people don't just learn grammar, but understand how language can completely change their life, their career, and how they see themselves. I want to bring together institutions, teachers, learners, companies, everything in a way that actually reflects the real world and not just the theory. So I'm pretty happy that happened to me, and I took it on as a huge go-to, and finally at the first step of my vision board, or the second step now.
It's only the second one. Wow, taking over like Expo Lingua is definitely a massive step.
Like building this personal brand around languages is one of the things that I did in the last 3 years, and now I take over that because all that fits so beautiful together, right?